Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing an honest overview and review of Star Wars Outlaws. First, I'm going to set the scene. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the characters and the general plot before breaking down some of the gameplay. And I'd just like to start by saying that this is not a paid review. Ubisoft have not paid me to say any of this, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way. And this is just my honest thoughts and opinions prior to its release. And those who were chosen to play the game early were not allowed to capture the gameplay footage, unfortunately. So I'm just talking to you over the in-game demonstration. But everything that you see is what those invited to play got to demonstrate. It's the same snippet of game. So just as an overview, Star Wars Outlaws is an upcoming open-world action-adventure game, and it's developed by Massive Entertainment, which is a studio that's under Ubisoft, and of course in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. And it was announced in June 2023, and the game has generated a significant excitement due to its setting in the beloved Star Wars universe. But of course, with any Star Wars product at the moment, it's also generated some hate, which seems to be on trend at the moment. And the hate seems to be focused towards the lead character, but also kind of more understand about the price as well. So in terms of its setting and story then, Star Wars Outlaws is set in the period between The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi, which is, as you all know, during the height of the Galactic Empire's power. Unlike many of the other Star Wars games that focus on the epic battles between the Jedi and the Sith, Outlaws seems to centre around the criminal underworld of the galaxy, which I'm really looking forward to experiencing. And players are going to explore a universe which is teeming with smugglers, bounty hunters, and crime syndicates. Really, that seedy underworld of Star Wars that kind of, our favourites such as Han Solo, Lando, and Chewbacca are from. So we've looked at the main character. So Kay Vess, she's the protagonist of Star Wars Outlaws. And she's a new character, a new, quite intriguing character in the Star Wars universe. And she seems to stand out from the usual heroes like Jedi Knights or Rebel soldiers. She embodies the kind of the gritty, more morally complex world of the galaxy's criminal underworld. And Kay Vess is portrayed as a clever and resourceful scoundrel. She lives on the fringe of society and is trying to survive in a galaxy dominated by the Galactic Empire. And she doesn't have the luxury of grand ideals or noble causes. Instead, she's driven by a desire to escape her troubled past and secure a better future. And this survival instinct is central to her character, making her more relatable for us guys and more grounded in compared to the larger-than-life heroes that we've seen in the Star Wars saga, such as those Jedis and those seen in Battlefront. And her personality reflects the harsh realities of the world that she actually inhabits. She seems to be quick-witted, cunning, and isn't afraid to bend or break the rules to get what she needs. However, she isn't portrayed as a heartless criminal. There's a sense of vulnerability and depth to her character as she navigates a dangerous path where every decision could be the difference between life and death. So in terms of her role in the story, so Kay's journey in Star Wars Outlaws is portrayed as one of kind of a personal survival and ambition. The story revolves around her efforts to pull off a daring heist that could be her ticket to freedom. And throughout the game, we follow Kay as she makes alliances, faces off against rivals, and evades the long arm of the Empire. And her role as an Empire means that she's constantly on the run, making every encounter a potential threat. And one of the key aspects of Kay's character is her relationship with her companion Nix. And Nix is a small, endearing alien who accompanies Kay on her adventures, very much her sidekick. Their bond adds a layer of emotional depth to the story, as Nix often provides moments of levity and support amidst the high-stakes tension of their journey. And unlike the clear-cut heroes of the Star Wars universe, Kay operates in shades of grey. Players will have to make kind of difficult choices as Kay, which can influence how the story unfolds and how other characters perceive her. And these decisions reflect her complex nature, where survival often requires compromise and alliances can be fleeting. This moral complexity is a key feature of Kay's character. It sets her apart from more straightforward heroes, and it aligns with the game's broader theme of exploring the Star Wars underworld, a place where ethics are often flexible and trust seems to be a rare commodity. In terms of her visual design and representation, so Kay Vess is designed to fit seamlessly into the Star Wars universe, whilst also standing out as a unique character, and her look is practical and rugged, with a mix of street-smart fashion and utilitarian gear that kind of reflects her life as an outlaw. The developers have emphasised creating a character who feels authentic to the Star Wars aesthetic, whilst also bringing something new to the table. And she personally reminds me of of a female version of the young Han Solo that we see in the Solo film. And her design also includes subtle nods to her lifestyle. She has scars, she has worn clothing, and a general sense of someone who's been through tough times but remains resilient. And Kay's visual representation is meant to convey her strength and determination, which makes her an instantly recognisable and memorable character within the Star Wars canon. So moving more onto the gameplay side of things now. So in my opinion, Star Wars Outlaws introduces a gameplay experience that blends elements of open world exploration, action, stealth, and kind of narrative driven choices as well. As I've mentioned, it's developed by Massive Entertainment, and the game aims to provide players with a dynamic and immersive Star Wars adventure distinct from the previous titles in the franchise. And one of the kind of key things about this game is the open world exploration. Its open world and expansive design. Players can traverse multiple planets, each with unique environments, ecosystems, and cultures. And these planets aren't just backdrops, they're fully realised worlds where players seem to be able to engage in various activities, interact with non-playable characters, uncover hidden secrets, and of course take on side quests. And there seems to be some planetary variety. The game showcases a diverse range of planets from bustling cities to desert outposts to lush forests to desolate wastelands. And each location offers its own set of challenges, enemies, and opportunities for exploration. And the world design encourages players to explore off the beaten path, where they might discover rare items, new missions, or hidden lore. And the transition that between space and planetary surfaces, it's designed to be seamless, allowing players to take off from a planet, then fly through space and land on another world without any loading screens. And this fluidity enhances the sense of immersion and scale, making the galaxy feel truly vast and interconnected, and makes you actually feel like you're really there. So talking about the combat and stealth aspect of the gameplay, so combat in Star Wars Outlaws offers a mixed range of gunplay, melee combat, and stealth mechanics, and players can approach situations in a variety of ways depending on their playstyle and the circumstances that they're up against. And the range combat aspect of it, so Kay Vess wields a blaster, and this can be upgraded with different attachments and modifications. The game emphasises tactical shooting, with players needing to use cover, managing their ammunition, and outmaneuvering their enemies. And the combat system is designed to be fluid and responsive, with dynamic enemy AI that adapts to the player's actions. The range combat aspect seems to be the area where a lot of the criticism for the game is coming from. So the shooting seems a little bit clunky, and some of the AI of the enemy doesn't seem to be the most fantastic. And also the aspect as well that there seems to be limited kind of weapons that Kay can use. She seems to be stuck with a blaster, and although it can be upgraded, players can quickly become bored of the same weapon. When looking at the stealth mechanics, so for players with a more covert approach, Outlaws of course offers robust stealth options, and Kay can sneak past enemies, she can use distractions, and she can perform takedowns to avoid direct confrontations. And the game encourages creative problem solving, which allows players to use the environment and the gadgets to outsmart foes. Quite unique to this game as well is the ability to use your companion. So Nyx plays an active role in the gameplay, his little alien friend, and Nyx assists in both combat and exploration. And players can command Nyx to interact with objects, distract enemies, or retrieve items that are out of reach. And this partnership seems to add an extra layer of strategy to both combat and puzzle solving, which is something that I really like. So something widely reported on, but unfortunately that I didn't get to see in this clip, is the space travel and combat aspects of the game as well. So space travel is a core component of the game, and it allows players to pilot their ship, which is the Trailblazer, across the galaxy. And this isn't just a means of transportation. I say space itself is also an open world environment filled with opportunities and dangers. And players can engage in dogfighting, so they can space battle with enemy ships. They use a variety of weapons and maneuvers, and these dogfights are fast-paced and require skillful flying and shooting to survive. And the space combat is designed to be both thrilling and strategic, with players needing to manage their ship's shield, weapons, and engines in the heat of battle. And whilst I wouldn't expect anything along the same dynamics as Star Wars Squadrons, especially in the same detail of weapon control and shield control, this is certainly a nice touch that I'm very much looking forward to. In addition to the combat, so the space offers a wealth of exploration opportunities, and players can discover derelict ships, trade routes, and hidden outposts, and each of these offer potential rewards or new missions. And the galaxy is filled with random encounters, such as pirate ambushes or distress signals, that add to the sense of adventure and adds to the longevity of the game as well, and sense of really being in a huge open world environment. Another thing that I absolutely loved about this game is the narrative and choice aspect of it. And the narrative of Star Wars Outlaws is heavily influenced by player choices, with a branching storyline that reacts to decisions made throughout the game. And there's plenty of dialogue options, so conversations with NPCs often present multiple dialogue choices, allowing players to shape Kay's personality and the outcome of interactions. And these choices can affect relationships, open or close off quests, and even alter the course of the main story. And then also there's a moral ambiguity side of things. So the game emphasizes moral ambiguity with many decisions having no clear right or wrong answer. So players might have to choose between helping one faction at the expense of another, or deciding whether to keep a promise or betray an ally. And these choices add further depth to the story and make each playthrough unique, which is something that I really, really love. In terms of the vehicle and gadgets, so in addition to her ship, the Trailblazer, Kay has access to various vehicles and gadgets that enhance the gameplay. As we saw at the start of this clip, she was in a speeder, so on planets, players can use speeders to cover large distances quickly, and these vehicles can be customized and are essential for escaping dangerous situations or quickly reaching distant locations. Perfect example was right at the start of this video. And then gadgets. So Kay's toolkit involves a variety of gadgets that can be used in combat and exploration. And these might include hacking devices, grenades, or traps that can be deployed to gain an advantage in battle or to solve environmental puzzles. So something that we've come to expect from these kinds of games is the ability to progress and customize the character. And so as the player progresses through the game, they can upgrade Kay's abilities, her gear, and her ship. So in terms of skill upgrades, so you can gain experience points by completing missions and defeating enemies, and these can be used to unlock new skills or improve your existing ones. And these upgrades allow players to tailor Kay's abilities to their preferred playstyle, whether focusing on combat prowess, stealth, or exploration. And then also a nice touch is the gear and weapon customization. So I've already touched on it slightly. Kay's blaster and other equipment can be customized with various modifications, such as scopes, extended magazines, or different types of ammunition. And these upgrades are essential for tackling the game's increasing challenges. Essentially, the further into the game that you get, the more difficult the enemies get. And then your ship as well, the Trailblazer. So this can be upgraded with better weapons, shields, and engines. And these enhancements improve the ship's performance in space combat and allow players to take on more formidable enemies. The game also promises a dynamic and living world where non-playable characters react to the player's actions and the environment changes based on the story's progression. So with factions and reputation, so different factions populate the galaxy, each with their own goal and territories, and how Kay interacts with these factions can affect her reputation, opens new opportunities, or creates new enemies, of course. And this system adds layers of strategy to the game, as players must consider the long-term consequences of their actions. And also, the game includes emergent gameplay elements where random events can occur as players explore the world. These might include ambushes, bounty hunters coming after Kay, or unexpected encounters that offer new missions or rewards. All in all, in my opinion, the gameplay of Star Wars Outlaws offers a rich and varied experience. It blends the exploration of an open world with engaging combat, meaningful choices, and the thrill of space travel. And it's designed to give us as the player a high degree of freedom in how they approach the game, whether we prefer to shoot our way out of trouble, sneak through the enemy lines, or engage in space battles. And the combination of these elements aim to create an immersive and authentic Star Wars experience, with Kay Vess at the centre of a new and exciting story. I'm really looking forward to this. Do I think it's going to be the game of the year? Probably not. However, I'm super looking forward to it. I reckon it's going to be about an 8 out of 10. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and please watch our other videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.